that was an impressive performance. The Jacksonville Jaguars defeating the Chargers 38-10, and part of that was due to the fact that Justin Herbert was not himself with that rib injury, and he turned the ball over twice early on in the game. But take the Jags seriously. I'm like all in on them now winning the AFC South.
Oh, I'm really not taking a whole lot away from the Colts beating the Chiefs.
No, sometimes the
That's
Chiefs decide we're not going to show up
Yeah,
today.
they sometimes decide to just make the just 6 to 7 cataclysmically stupid decisions on the field, and so I'm not really taking anything from that game. And the Jags are really the only team in that division that actually look like they have a pulse, and they are using the personnel that they spent a crap load of money on really well.
Yeah.
I derided that Christian Kirk contract as so many others did at the time, but they are actually doing what Christian Kirk is good at, which is running him out of the slot, even being creative, running him out of the backfield a few times. They are playing to their personnel. They're not playing to like what Doug Pederson wants to run. Doug Pederson knows what these guys are good at, and that's what they're using.
And that is what I think makes Doug Pederson a really good coach. And we're now starting to see that maybe Frank Reich was not the wizard in that Super Bowl run for the Philadelphia Eagles. Perhaps it was Doug Pederson who was a really good coach all along. And the Eagles are lucky that it worked out with Nick Sirianni. But Doug Pederson, I mean, hey, this is a deep. This is a deep roster. I'm looking at it right now. Or at the very least, there are some interesting pieces that I think got discounted because the coaching was so bad for a while. Like Tyson Campbell, who had a really good game, the corner who they took, I believe, out of Georgia
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
second round.
Yeah, he was the first pick out of the second round of that draft, but he was injured all of last year, or for the most part of last year, I believe.
But forgotten about. Yeah. He has really good size and decent speed, and he was able to shut down for the most part. I know Mike Williams had a touchdown, but he didn't have a great game otherwise. And like, you know, I'm feel like the Chargers have neglected their receiving core because I think Mike Williams and Keenan Allen might be a bit of an overrated duo in my opinion. And then there's not a ton of depth after that. Like,
yeah, I mean Herbert's getting a lot of tread with like guys like Jalen Guyton and Josh Palmer, like some like kind of not super heralded kind of later round receivers, and that's a testament to Herbert's ability.
Yes, they don't jump off the screen
right,
for me.
Right, no, in the sense of like they are even catching some crazy passes and doing some stuff after the catch, but that's I think more of a result. It's kind of the same way. I mean, we can get into it a little bit, but it's the same thing that I feel like we're seeing with Rodgers and Brady now, given the makeup of their receiver core, is that it's not super germane who some of these depth guys are for some of these fantastic quarterbacks, because they can kind of make anyone look pretty good. Like in the game yesterday, Romeo Dubes was looking like Rodgers' number one receiver, and Brady was throwing screens to Cole Beasley. Since when is Cole Beasley on the Buccaneers?
Oh my God! As of literally last week,
yeah,
he wasn't.
It's just so I just think that I agree with you in the sense of like I think Mike Williams and Allen are definitely a good 1-2. I definitely don't think they're the best 1-2 by any stretch. I think based on what we saw out of Miami this week, it's clearly at least for me Waddle and Tyreek, but I think it's also just a testament to some amazing quarterback play when like you're not even noticing. It's not really the dynamism of like the one or two guys. Like, oh, he's spreading it out all over.
Yeah,
he's spraying balls all over to basically whoever will catch them.
I mean, Gerald Everett's bounced around the league.
Right.
Josh Palmer, I actually think he has some upside, but the thing that strikes me most about the Chargers receiving core is they're not a receiving core that gets a lot of separation. So they're not that speedy. Like they're quite reliant on Justin Herbert fitting these things into tight windows. And when he's not able to do that, and when he's playing through a ton of pain, which he was, then their team kind of falls apart. So I think very highly of the Jaguars right now because I think Trevor Lawrence is a real coach and is beginning to unlock some of the physical tools that he has. And they just have good pieces all across the roster. Do I think they're going to win a playoff game? Most likely no. But I think that division is terrible, and I've really liked what I've seen from them so far. I don't know about you, but
No, it was I was very impressed because Lawrence was doing a similar thing because not only was he, you know, leaning heavily on his now number one option in Christian Kirk, but he made an unbelievable throw to Marvin Jones in the back of the end zone. He made an unbelievable throw to Zay Jones in the back of the end zone. Like, I mean, Marvin Jones is a reliable receiver, but he's been in the league a few years, and
yeah,
he's
in his
not
30s.
anyone's number one option. Neither is Zay Jones. And I mean, Zay Jones had some run on the Raiders last year, but he wasn't nearly a number one option for them, even on that team pre Devontae Adams. So we're seeing, I think, what this coming out of college, this generational talent can do with literally like mostly competent coaching and a few upgrades at skill positions and on the line. I mean, it's. I understand why people were concerned that Lawrence may be getting towards bust potential, given how the first 2 years of his career came out. But if this guy's healthy, he's simply based on traits and talent. I actually think he's almost too talented to fail.
Yeah,
like he's too
he
good.
has a
at,
very high floor, and that's
exactly.
why,
Like it's
like people were debating between him and Zach Wilson in terms of ceiling and stuff, and smaller quarterbacks, right? Like we're starting
smaller
to
quarterbacks and lower and less stringent competition.
I still, we'll see how Zach Wilson turns out. I thought the way that he threw the ball, it was tantalizing to me because his arm, I think, is more explosive than Trevor Lawrence, but Lawrence has a durability and experience
and just mentality and like tact and intelligence. He sees every read. His footwork is mostly perfect. He doesn't get concerned when the pocket collapses, and he's so accurate.
Yeah,
he just makes one throws sometimes. Like that one to the back of the end zone to Marvin Jones was a absolutely beautiful throw that was almost a little bit too high, but it was just enough for Jones to get to receive, like to catch it with two defenders on him. I mean, it was a really amazing throw.
His mechanics have gotten way better this year, I feel like. That's just how it looks to me off the screen. So I don't know, but
no, I'm sure I have to imagine that, any time not spent with Urban Meyer as his coach has probably been a great benefit to him.
Yeah.